It's another 5-Minute Friday, but today it's all about the sixes. Welcome to the channel. I'm Grant Tommy. This is Straight Six Vid, your home for offbeat hot rodding, and this is one of those things that I've thought about for the long-term growth of my channel. If I want to take this offbeat hot rodding thing to the next level and keep with my namesake, Straight Six Vid, kind of the idea of what if I just only built 6-cylinder builds from here on out on this channel. So today's a 5-Minute Friday. I want to do a 6-pack for all my six fans out there of 6-cylinder builds I would like to do. So we're going to do this in descending order of, we'll say, kind of availability and therefore feasibility. So, number one on my list is like a dream, but might be hard to do. So with that, let's get started. Number 6 on my list is, of course, the t-shirt I'm wearing, the Buzzin' Half Dozen, the 300 Ford, is definitely something I want to do on my channel. And as you know, if you watched my New Year's kind of outlook episode, that appears to be on the docket here for 2022, is building a 300 Ford inline 6 turbo build. So obviously the availability of these motors are quite plentiful. They bait them, from like 66 to 96 or something like that. So there's plenty of those out there, but that comes in first on my list, but number 6 on my list, you get what I'm saying. Number 5, so this is very similar to what we just talked about, 300 Ford. I think the next one I would do, and there's plenty of, is the 4-liter Jeep motor. So any AMC 6-cylinder probably would do a 258 or 232. Anyway, whenever I say it, I think 4-liter Jeep motor first, because I'm a fuel injected guy. And I kind of have these weird dreams of taking like a 70s male Jeep and making a rat rod out of that. That's the motor I would definitely stick in that. So the 4-liter Jeep motor comes in at number 5. Number 4 on the list you can find in Fairmont here on YouTube, and that's our buddy Nivlock, who is a guest on an upcoming episode of the Car Guy and Six Fan Show. But he's all about building the Atlas motor, the 4200 dual overhead cam, 4.2 liter inline 6 from Chevrolet. And you guys know I'm Ford guy first, but I've been in love with that motor ever since it came out. And we'll get into that with that interview on the Car Guy and Six Fan Show. Look for that. Make sure you're subscribed to both myself and Old Car Guy to make sure you don't miss Niblack 57. Number 3 on the list winds up being our first non-inline 6, and for me that's going to be a Ford Ecoboost. And while a 3.5 would be super sweet, I'd also do a 2.7 liter Ecoboost, swap it in something like think about a Pinto with a 2.7 liter Ecoboost swapped in it. Or honestly, I'd love to do a non-Mustang Fox body again with a 3.5 in it or 2.7. Whether it's a 4-door Fairmont or one of those LTDs, I think that would be a sweet build, which kind of leads me into my next one. So yes, number 2, the reason why I mentioned the LTD build, because I've always had this dream of building basically Ford's response to what is number 2 on my list, the 3.8 liter turbocharged V6 from Buick. Of course I went in the Grand National, so always kind of had this dream of building that Ford version, the 4-door version, and being like, hey, that's cool, you put 1 turbo on, but let's put 2 turbos on. Anyway, as we get higher and higher in this list, like I mentioned, we're talking about availability and feasibility. I would hate to snag a 3.8 liter Buick motor away from one of those GM guys. The rarity of these motors is such that while it would be cool to swap it into another sort of build somewhere on down the line, part of me just feels like, hey, that's not fair to those guys. Let's leave those motors for them. But regardless, it would still be a fun build. That brings me to my final selection. Number 1 on my list of build I would love to do here on the channel for a car sometime in the future would be with a 4-liter Ford Barra. Yes, it's that Australian dual overhead cam inline 6 that the Ford Motor Company made. It's basically, if you were in Australia, instead of LS Swap the World, they're Barra swapping the world down there in the southern hemisphere. And so while this is number 1 on my list in terms of least likely because of availability, I will say that as each day goes on, it seems like there's more and more options here in the United States of people importing them and people kind of getting to know them and know how to troubleshoot them and tech them and things like that. So that way you're not making a phone call half a day in the future to talk to somebody in Australia how to tune it. So there are some pretty sick builds out there. What's Adam something. He put one in a S550 Mustang, pretty sweet. But then our friends over at Fuel Injection Sucks, they did one in a Granada. So there's all sorts of, it's more and more common as the years go by. Hey, and since I still have a shade of time left, I guess we'll throw in some honorable mentions. So those three would be, love to do a 3.7 liter Ford Cyclone motor. That's, you know, kind of your 2011 to 2015 Mustangs. So 305 horsepower stock. They're pretty good motors. A 292 Chevy, you know, but by that point it'd be much like the 300 Ford build or the Jeep build. And then the last one, I would say, 2JZ. Hey, over here, we got some other videos that you might like if you like this 5-minute Friday format. Otherwise, like, comment, share, subscribe. I don't care which one you do. To all my 6 fans out there, thanks for watching.